station that's on your side. This is News 12, First at 5.
Oh yeah, back-to-back champs. The Dogs did it again. Since the big win last night, fans in Athens, Atlanta, and Augusta have been going crazy celebrating the national title holders. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about this foam finger, by the way.
Story time.
On the back, it says 2018 National Championships. I was at the game when Alabama beat us in double overtime. So this means heartbreak is attached to this, so I'm very proud.
You were wiping tears with your little foam
Yeah,
finger.
so I am very proud to have this here. But anyway, the Bulldogs have just landed in Georgia. They landed just before 5 o'clock. Stetson Bennett threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for 2 scores. And that was just the first half. I mean, let's be honest.
I had it off by halftime. I'm not going to lie.
He literally ran away with the game in the first half. I mean, basically the Frogs had no chance.
No, there was
no chance.
There was no chance at all. Maybe watch the first drive of the third quarter, and then at that point when TCU kicked the ball, I was like, absolutely not.
It was over.
But the Bulldogs are the first repeat since Alabama went back-to-back a decade ago.
I love that. I love that. No, but that's okay.
That's
fine. Okay.
She's fine with that.
I'm fine with that. We can talk about Alabama. We can say the A word when it applies to that.
That's fine. But Uga did not make that cross-country trip to root his team on. The boys still brought home the hardware. Many of the TCU fans cleared out by halftime, and there were only Dogs fans left in the fourth quarter that stayed for that finale. But today, Coach Kirby Smart, Brock Bowers, and Javon Bullard talked about being back-to-back champions. Coach Smart says their motto is the same. It's just a win. When a reporter asked him about building something bigger, Coach said he doesn't want players or the program's self-worth to just be built on championships.
I get it. That's what you define, Joe Montana on, Tom Brady on, LeBron and Kobe and Michael Jordan on the number of championships. I don't want these young men to be defined by that. I don't want my career to be defined by that, because I know tons of coaches and players out there that didn't get one that had unbelievable careers. So I never hang a hat or say you validate. All I want to do is be the best I can be today. And I want these kids to know that they need to be the best they can each and every day so they can be successful. And if you measure success based on wins in each day, that's what I want our success to be measured on.
And coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, he talks about what made this season different and if they started thinking about that third national title.
Oh, I already have. Dog fans already have.
A huge possibility with the schedule that they have.
Yep.
I'm sure they'll be back next year. But talking about fans, we are live at 5 from the Academy Sports in Evans. Fans, listen up. What they have out on those tables is the last of their stock for now. They have everything from long sleeve and short sleeve t-shirts. There's hoodies, beanies, lanyards, stickers, anything that you can imagine. The managers say that they have been very busy with fans trying to get out that limited supply that they have there. Still looks like enough on the table if you want to hop on over to Academy in Evans.
I believe last year at this time, after the first time we won the Natty, which just sounds amazing to say out loud, by the way, that things were already gone. So the fact that there is still, look at that. That is a decent amount on the table still now.
I was out there. They said that they prepped for this because they knew the back-to-back was going to be so much bigger than just last year's win, even though it was that first time for them. But having something say back-to-back on the shirt or hoodie is so much more. But the victory lap is not over yet. The Bulldogs announced their plan for Saturday's championship celebration. It starts at 2:30 with a parade along Lumpkin Street in Athens. A dog walk will follow that at 1 p.m. And an official program will take place inside Sanford Stadium at 2 p.m. Gates will open at 12 p.m. and tickets to the program are free and will be available first to season ticket holders, faculty, and staff starting Tuesday morning. Any remaining tickets will be made available to the general public at 9 a.m. on Thursday at georgiadogs.com.
And by the way, Sanford Stadium seats in excess of 96,000 people.
It's going to be popping.
Yeah, it is going to be popping, and I guarantee you they're going to run out of tickets. People are that excited about all of this. All right, let's take a look outside. A beautiful day outside, but I think any dog would call today a beautiful day.
I think so.
I know.
Even a rainy day would still be a good day at this point.
Yeah, it really would. But we want to send it over to another dog. Riley, are you just smiling from ear to ear? You are married to an Alabama fan.
I know, and I
So-
finally know how she has felt all these years. He's a winner. Championships, but yeah, fantastic night last night. It was great to be a Georgia Bulldog once again, and it was actually kind of crazy. Late last night, once the game ended, they actually had a flash flood warning over LA. So some pretty weird wet weather across the West Coast. That's going to be heading our way later this week, but the Dogs definitely brought the storm with them. Now, high pressure's on top of us. That's going to keep us nice and clear this evening into tonight, and temperatures were pretty comfortable today. We actually made our way back into the mid to low 60s earlier this afternoon. We are getting closer to that 60 mark as we continue to cool off, getting close to sunset this evening. If you have any plans later tonight, we are going to stay nice and dry. Clear skies if you want to do some planet gazing. Remember, we still have Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars out there in the southwestern sky. May have a few clouds pass on by later tonight, but expecting mostly clear conditions. Another cold night will likely drop down to near freezing at Bushfield, staying near 40 degrees at Daniel Field. Have an update on some storms heading our way on Thursday in just a bit, but let's get an update now on your first alert traffic.
And
All right, thanks so much, Riley. The man on your screen, he has been found guilty of setting an apartment complex on fire back in 2020. Augusta District Attorney Jared Williams says Charles Bragg was charged with arson in the first degree. He's been sentenced to 3 years in prison with 17 years of probation. Back on September 14th of 2020, Bragg was being evicted from the property on Wrightsboro Road. That's when he got into a fight with one of the maintenance workers. There was a 25-minute window from the time the deputies and staff left and when the fire was reported. Bragg stayed on the scene and watched the fire grow, making no attempt to put it out. Thankfully, no one was hurt by the fire. No one even had smoke inhalation.
Well, South Carolina lawmakers are back at work in Columbia, where their 2023 legislative session opened today. State House reporter Mary Green explains what leaders of both parties have set on their agenda for the year.
The first day of the 2023 legislative session was a short one in both the state Senate and the House of Representatives, with not much action going on here. But that is sure to change in the coming week, so here's a look at what's ahead. As South Carolina's Senate and House of Representatives gavelled in Tuesday, leaders of both parties say they've put education among their top priorities, especially addressing the state's worsening teacher shortage.
Anything we can do to retain and recruit more teachers is necessary for us, but I think the first step is going to be giving a sizable pay raise.
We're concerned about the salaries that we pay teachers. We're concerned about the incentives that we may use to attract more young people into the teaching profession. We're concerned about classroom size.
Republicans will try again to establish a voucher program to give families state dollars to send their children to private school.
We spent a lot of time on that last year. We'll spend some more time on that this year, and hopefully we can get an agreement and get there.
Democrats say they'll work to ensure public schools have the money and support they need.
Our children are vastly underrepresented up here. We've got to make sure that they are not going to be underfunded up here.
State House leaders are also hoping to pass legislation cracking down on fentanyl trafficking, reforming catch-and-release bail law, and bolstering economic development, the top priority for new House Speaker Merle Smith. The start of this year's session comes less than a week after the state Supreme Court struck down South Carolina's 6-week ban on abortion. Republican leaders say they're still determining next steps, but don't believe this issue will bog down the entire session.
There will be attention paid towards the abortion issue. I mean, there's no doubt of that in light of the ruling. But again, I do think that, there are other issues than that is important to the citizens of South Carolina.
This session, Republicans retain their majority in the Senate and now hold a supermajority in the House of Representatives. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
The legislative session runs from today until mid-May.
And this is the start of a 2-year session, so any legislation not passed by that point will roll over to the next year. Riley's coming.
Yeah, we hear him coming. There you go.
Hey, we got another beautiful afternoon for us, but we do have storms in the forecast by Thursday. I'll have an update for you just after a quick break.
That's all right. We're all moving slow today. Up late last night because of this. We talked to Stetson Bennett's father on what it's like to raise a winner.
Well, one neighborhood is coming up as another is going down. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're talking to the Augusta Housing Authority as well as an impacted neighbor about this new development, which is set to start opening up homes in July. A potential new home for neighbors at Dogwood Terrace, which is most likely set to start demolishing this year.
Okay, so the national championship is over.
You need the strong arm. Call attorney John Foy and Associates.
Okay, so the national championship is over, and so is Stetson Bennett's incredible ride in a Georgia uniform. His story is incredible. It really is. It's like a Hollywood movie, from a walk-on when he was told he wasn't good enough
Going to junior college and then
Yeah.
coming back as well.
Yeah, and I mean, basically now he's got back-to-back national titles.
And MVPs, 4 MVPs.
Crazy.
Which is crazy. So before the big win, his father, Stetson Bennett III, sat down with our sister station about how he came up in the sports world.
Mr. Bennett and I met at a location dear to his heart, the family farm in Jessup.
That's my favorite place on earth, and whenever he comes down, we come hang out at the farm, and there's a lot of decisions been made out here, a lot of pulling and pushing and running and sprinting uphill and working on techniques.
The big moment plays we are so accustomed to seeing from Stetson were previously imagined and drawn up at the farm.
Had a jet ski in the back pond, and Stet would act like it was the last play of the game, and he'd get a 3-step drop, and have to make somebody miss and circle around and throw it, and Knox would be on the jet ski, and he'd dive off the jet ski and make the catch.
To bring those imaginations to fruition, Mr. Bennett stressed one thing.
I told all my children, you can do anything in the world that you want to do, but you can't just want it. You got to go to work.
The work Stetson has put in over the years has led to constant acts of overcoming, with the latest orchestrating the comeback win over Ohio State in the college football playoff semifinal.
If you take somebody that's the greatest that's ever been, and you put them in a situation that fail, they may fail. But when you've got somebody that's been told all their life they can't do it, but time and time and time again they have done it, they've got that reserve back in the bag that says, you know what, there's 2 minutes and 36 seconds. That's 36 seconds more than my daddy said there would be. I wasn't worried. I looked at my wife and I said, this is what he was trained to do right here.
Along with a relentless work ethic, passion and love are 2 major factors in Stetson's incredible journey.
It's been a joy. To get to watch him do what he wanted to do. Not do what I wanted him to do, but what he wanted to do. This kid loves football. He loves the University of Georgia, and if you just look at it for what it is, this is as pure as the game gets. Someone doing it for the love of the game.
And ending this script right out of a movie in Hollywood.
That's so cool.
It could not have had a better place for this to end. His father went on to say that every little boy in Georgia, every single one of them, can now look to Bennett and say, I can do that. I don't care what somebody says. I can do that.
And going out there talking to a lot of those fans today at Academy in Evans, that was one thing that they talked about was Stetson and his upcoming to being one of probably the greatest quarterbacks to play for the University of Georgia, and just him overcoming all the odds to have that storybook ending there. It's incredible.
Yeah, such hope to so many youngsters, such a great story. It's going to be a movie.
It will be.
This is going to be a movie.
Absolutely. Right?
Yeah, guys, and you think about it, that's probably the last time you'll ever see a player like Stetson with NIL, transfer portal. You're really not going to see a kid stick around that isn't played for the first 2-3 years of his career. So, pretty impressive what Stetson has done over the past several years for the Dogs. And we got a beautiful...
Do it right. Rely on Ramjet.
It has been 10 years since the death of a Valdosta teenager, Kendrick Johnson. In 2013, Johnson, then 17 years old, was found dead in a rolled-up gym mat at Lowndes High School. The sheriff's office there ruled his death accidental, but Johnson's family maintains their belief he was murdered. Today, his family will meet to hold a prayer vigil and balloon release.
Grant me hope. It's a brand new year. Time to start with Milton Rubin Superstore. Oh yeah, fresh inventory is arriving daily. We have plenty to choose. Every make and every model priced to move. Make a fresh start today. Milton Rubin Superstore.